Hey everybody, it's Betsy Lafferty, and tonight we'll be discussing my EDL 852 case study. Let's go ahead and start with a quick summary. Lightville Community School is a growing rural school, and its enrollment is growing at about 2% a year. Due to this enrollment increase, they are having lack of space for students, and because of this, after looking at some different solutions, they decided with a community vote of 53% yes to 40% no to build a new middle school. The vote was a bit controversial. Some people did not want to incur more debt, and some just wanted to do some cheaper additions to the school. This new school will house 450 students and take approximately 18 months to complete. The superintendent, Joe Rawlings, would like to hire a principal a year out so that they can go ahead and get staff hired, organize the school programs and curriculum, and then also collaborate with the architects. Susan Potter was hired as the new principal of the school. Upon being hired, she set up an advisory committee to help develop a school vision and mission statement. This committee actually, though, resisted kind of taking part and collaborating with her. They voted that they just wanted Miss Potter to basically develop both statements on her own. They thought that she was the expert, and because of this, she should take the lead. And Miss Potter really felt disappointed because she felt that the teachers and community needed to have a stake in creating them because it really needed to reflect the values and priorities of the community. I didn't really see any legal issues in regards to this case study. However, I do believe ethically Ms. Potter is trying to involve the community and help them by having them help shape the vision and mission statement, because they really want it to fit the values of the community itself. And also I feel like she's trying to unite the community again because it was such a controversial issue. She wants everyone to feel like they have a stake, whether they were supportive or not, and so they can go forward and support the school. If I had to sum it up in one sentence, I would say that Principal Susan Potter is trying to unite a community after a controversial vote to build a new middle school by creating a committee to develop a mission and vision statement, but is facing resistance from the group. Let's synthesize some of the facts. Let's first look at the people in the case study. The community itself is a growing rural area. The lower land values are attracting people from the neighboring city, but they are split in the decision to build a new middle school. The school itself is facing a 2% increase in enrollment approximately a year and has over 1,200 students. The superintendent is Joe Rawlings, and he led the process to determine how to deal with the space issues. Miss Susan Potter, she was hired as the new principal for the new middle school, and she's supposed to lead all the facets of developing the new school, including developing a school mission and vision statement. An advisory committee consists of teachers and parents, and Miss Potter wants them to help lead the process of creating both statements, but they actually want her to develop them on their own. The place, it's Lightville Community School District, and it serves 2 townships and is within 10 miles of a major city. It has a combined high school, middle school, and then a separate elementary school. The facilities are relatively new, and when the junior high school was built, or opened, I should say, they believed it would last for the next 40 years. However, the unanticipated growth in their enrollment has led to district space problems. The programs at the school, it is a public school. There's really no stated curriculum. However, Miss Potter, the new middle school principal, is in charge of creating the programs and overseeing the curriculum for the school. The elementary will be K-5. The new middle school will house the 6th through 8, and the high school will have the 9th through 12th graders. Reviewing and prioritizing. Basically, the conflict is the advisory committee is refusing to aid Ms. Potter in the development of the new vision and mission statements. They believe that Ms. Potter should develop both, and they just want to sign off on them when she is done. I think this conflict could potentially hurt the school system, because if the value and mission don't reflect or fit in with the community's priorities and goals, there might not be total buy-in for the new middle school and could create hard feelings between the new principal and the community. Also, the important stakeholders in this situation are the community, administrators, teachers, and students. I believe that Ms. Potter is trying to involve most of the important stakeholders, but they are really resisting her efforts to unify their ideas and develop a shared vision. It would be helpful. Some of the questions I would like to ask to know some more information would be why the chair of the committee, Miss Helen Burke, who is a teacher, is so hesitant to share her opinion. I'm also curious to know why the board maybe didn't take a more active role in developing both of these statements. I know you can't ask people who they voted for, but I am curious to know if the parents on the committee were in favor of the new middle school. I think how they voted could possibly affect their willingness to work as a team. And then having asked the above questions, I still believe even if I don't have all the answers, I can make an educated decision that would lead both the committee and the school in a positive direction together. All right, so let's look at some options and consequences. The first option would be basically taking no action to encourage the committee to help create the vision and mission statements, and then Ms. Potter would just develop them on their own. I think this would maybe be just a really easy way out, but the lack of collaboration, I think, could lead to resentment among the community and then also decreased buy-in for the middle school. A second option maybe could be the most comprehensive, and it would involve Ms. Potter basically demanding that the committee help out. She could override the chairperson and committee's vote and tell them that they have to help and basically force them to give their opinions. I don't really think this is great because the committee members may feel pressured, and this could negatively impact their relationship with Ms. Potter and the school. The most liberal, number 3, option could be Ms. Potter simply copying the existing vision and mission and then telling the advisory board she'd like them to approve both. In this decision, she would not be evaluating the current vision and mission statements on her own or nor developing them, and this option could really lead to Ms. Potter being seen as a weak leader. Some intermediate strategies. One could be Ms. Potter could discuss with the advisory group, meet with them again, and let them know why she really thinks the collaboration is important, and lets them know that their community's priorities and goals need to be reflected in the new middle school's vision and mission statement. If she did this, I think she could help gain the committee and community's respect without putting undue pressure on them to share their opinions. Another option could be that she discussed this issue with Mr. Rawlings, the superintendent, and get his input, but I think this also could allow her to get support from the highest administrator and help her not feel alone and like she's doing it all by herself. Another option could be that she could involve the board members more and get their input. In this way, she would just be increasing getting more stakeholders' opinions, let them having their voices heard, and it could create a more positive relationship with her and the board. Evaluating options. I don't believe that taking no action and creating the vision and mission statements on her own would be of the best interest of the school or community. I know it's what the advisory committee is supporting, but in the long run, I think it could possibly create some animosity between the school and outside stakeholders. I also don't agree that demanding the committee to make a decision is a good choice. If a new leader comes in and just makes demands, they could be seen as an authoritarian and not create positive relationships that are vital for a positive environment. Also, just copying the mission and vision statements could make Ms. Potter seem like maybe she doesn't really have a stake or have a true investment in the new middle school. And if their first impressions are that she's a weak leader and doesn't care, she really won't be able to create effective relationships. So evaluating options, my vision, what I think should possibly happen. When evaluating options, I think the most effective solution would be to discuss why it's important for the committee to give their input into the vision and mission. In order to put a little less pressure on them, however, I think Ms. Potter could have a survey ready to ask the most vital questions and help the advisory committee understand the process a little bit better. I think involving the superintendent would help Ms. Potter feel a little bit more supported and let the committee members see the importance of their job. And if Ms. Potter can bring the group together in a more focused way with that survey and then allow that to lead a detailed discussion, I think they really could come up with some great ideas and have a shared vision and mission. Being a visionary leader doesn't mean creating everything yourself. However, it does make you determine how to push other people to understand points of view and also work together to create a quality school system. If the vision is implemented, it really shows that Ms. Potter cares about the opinions and views of the community, not just her own. It also shows her leadership style and her desire to make this new school something that really reflects the community that it's in. By pushing the committee and involving them and involving the superintendent, she's unifying multiple stakeholders and helping them have a stake in the direction of the school. The only stakeholders that really haven't been utilized are the students. However, I think after the statements are made, the students can then be involved in helping determine how they're going to follow the vision and mission statements. I think that challenging the first decision of the board in a positive way, she's showing her leadership style and pushing those around her to be brave and share their ideas and vision for the school. How am I going to implement this plan? First, I think that she needs to meet with Mr. Rawlings to discuss her plan, and then so that way he knows really what she wants to do and how she wants to go about it. Next, Mrs. Potter will call a meeting with the advisory committee. In this meeting, she will detail how important it is that these mission statements and vision statements reflect the community's different types of priorities and values, and lets them know that it's important for them to collaborate with one another and to really set both of these statements. When the advisory committee meets, she will already have a survey ready for them to complete. It will ask guiding questions that will help them share what they believe, but not really put too much pressure on them, and help them really lead a discussion on what's important. After this discussion, they can then create some rough drafts of each statements. After the rough drafts have been created, Ms. Potter can then work on the final drafts and then bring them back to the advisory board for any questions and then hopefully for final approval. Once a final approval has been given, I think that the chairperson, Ms. Burke, and also Ms. Potter should go together to the board to share and seek approval. If they do it together, it really just shows that everyone collaborated with one another, and it's not just Ms. Potter herself making the vision and mission statements. Upon final approval, the last job Ms. Potter will have will be to communicate the vision and mission to the staff, to the community, and the students. It'll just ensure that all the stakeholders are aware of the expectations and ideals that the school finds to be most important. And so, reflecting on all of this, I believe that creating value and mission statements are extremely important for all schools. These statements really have to reflect the goals, ideals, values, and priorities of a community as a whole, just to gain total buy-in. They have to be made collaboratively with multiple stakeholders, so people really feel like they have a stake in the success of the school and the students. Once created, the value and mission statements have to be communicated effectively to everyone, students, staff, Board of Education, and community. When everybody's on the same page and have the same high expectations, the school is most likely to succeed in fulfilling their mission. And lastly, I really just know that being a principal of a new school would be a challenge. However, when you work as a team and develop the ideas and values you want your school to be founded upon, you can really start on a solid foundation and create success for everyone. Thanks for letting me share my opinions. I've really enjoyed this class, and I just look forward to working with you all in the future. Thanks. Have a great night.